Good morning, everybody on YouTube. This is Rick from Left Coast Overland. It's currently 4:30 in the morning again, and I'm waiting outside for an Uber. Gonna be hopping a plane back up to Kent, Washington, where Torque Lift is located. Pick up the truck. The bed or frame-mounted tie-downs are complete, and then I'll start making my way towards Boise to pick up the camper that I secured. So I'm really looking forward to all this, and I hope that you can join me. There's Salt Lake City out there. Lay over here, and then SeaTac is next. Made it to Kent, made it to Torque Lift, got all the stuff installed just before they wrapped up and closed the shop up for the day. So, wow, the timing couldn't be better. We're gonna head over towards Spokane, Colville, Washington right now. Another 5 hours on the road. To describe how good it feels to be back in the truck. Like, it's the one thing that actually belongs to me, that didn't get lost in fires and everything else. So it's nice to be back in it. It feels kind of like a piece of home, which it will become even more so once the camper's on it. I intend to live out of this vehicle and camper system full time for at least the next year, the foreseeable future. It's just the way it's going to be the mobile homeless, and that's okay. I already had this plan set in motion before my family's house was lost in that fire this week, so it's interesting how my plan set in motion lined up with the circumstances that are now being dealt, and it's amazing how life lines up like that. Amazing how drastically the terrain changes once you're on the eastern side of the Cascades. It's a lot drier climate, and yeah, it's more like hayfields and a little bit of scrubby trees here and there, but not the dense lush forest that you get on the other side, and it's only like 100 miles or less. It's pretty impressive. Sun goes down pretty quick around here. Continuing on into the night, still got about 120 miles to go to get to our destination for the evening. Colville, Washington, here we come. It's currently 5:30, and I still got about, I don't know, 60 miles or so to go, and the route keeps taking me further and further from any sort of a main road, so it gets slower and slower. I'm at a 45-mile-an-hour road for the next 20 miles, but pretty cool backcountry stuff. The sun is long gone. Got a really cool sunset back there, and yeah, we'll just keep on keeping on. Almost there. Be there soon. Made it safe and sound to the ranch, resort, and casino. 5 hours. Okay, it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon on day is it 2? And I'm just leaving my friend's house here in northeastern Washington. Got Boise. It'll probably take me about 9 hours to get there with stops for fuel and whatnot. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty drive. We got 4 hours of daylight before the sun goes down, and then the rest of the trip's gonna be nighttime driving, which isn't ideal, but sometimes it's good to spend a little bit of time with your friends for a few minutes who you haven't seen in a long time. So I was happy to do it. Continuing on, it's about 1 o'clock, just pulling into the Spokane area, 395 south through Washington into Oregon and then back into Idaho. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. I get my camper and I'm really excited about that. Left Coast Overland 2019 Rebel with a camper setup. So yeah. It is now the end of day 2, I think. It's about 8 p.m. I'm outside of Baker City, Oregon, about an hour and a half from my destination in Boise for the camper. I found some Forest Service dispersed camping road. I'm gonna set up shop here tonight. In the back seat, I got my sleeping bag and my air mattress on the floor there. Should be comfy. 25 degrees. It's gonna be cold, but I'm all set. Got a down bag and all the goodies. See how it looks up here in the morning. Maybe get some drone footage or something. You guys have a good night. I'm sleeping here in the back seat of the Rebel. I've got an inflatable air mattress, my thermarest, and then a Sea to Summit pillow and sleeping bag. I'm pretty comfy. I did the hot water bottle trick because it's really cold outside, 25 degrees, and this cab is going to cool off relatively quickly. It's a little cramped, like kind of up against the door, and then my feet are kind of bent at, I don't know, like a 20-degree angle at the knee. So not super cramped, but for somebody who's 6 foot, and it's a little bit on the tight side. I wouldn't want to have to sleep in here every night, but it certainly works for being on the road. So if anybody's interested or curious, the 2019 Dodge back seat with the seats folded up is definitely sleepable for one person comfortably. 6:20 in the morning, day 3 I survived sleeping in the back of the truck. It got down to about 20 degrees last night. It was a little cold. I had to get up in the middle of the night and reheat my hot water bottle. And then since I was up, I fired up the truck and let it warm up again. Heat up the cabin again, so I got a few more hours of sleep from about 3 a.m. to about 6. Now I'm back on the road. 2 more hours to get to Meridian, Idaho, towards Boise, to grab this camper. So day 3, here we come. America, Camping World. Pretty cool little unit. I'm excited about this. It's gonna be my little land yacht for the next however long. But nice and clean for a 2017 that's used. Doesn't look like it was abused at all by the previous owner, which is good. It comes complete with all the things that I expected it to, and they assure me that it works as intended and as advertised. So we're just getting it set up on the truck right now. Should take a little bit longer, but pretty excited. This is a cool little setup. The Palomino HS650. Here's my tie downs, the torque lift fast guns with quick release handles. So I got all 4 of those, and then over here is what torque lift set up on my truck. The tie downs that are frame mounted. So those took some time to get fabricated and figured out, but it looks like they did an excellent job setting me up there. I'm very pleased with that. Some really nice features here. Got the power jacks. That'll make my life a lot easier. Charging ports to set up. Got propane back here. It's got integrated camera. I just want to set that up in the future, which is pretty great. Remote control for all the jacks. Came with the torque lift glow step, which is pretty sweet. That deploys and it gives you an easy way up and into this thing. So all in all, I'm pretty excited. This is gonna be a pretty awesome setup. I got to get some plywood here. Some 2 sheets of 3/4 inch fir sanded plywood. Just wasn't gonna cut it the way it's set up, so I'll have to add a little bit of boost from the bed of the truck up so that it clears everything properly. Gonna go back to Camping World, get this thing sorted out.
It says right inside there.
All right, just leaving Camping World here in Meridian, Idaho. Got another 15 hours or so of drive time, maybe a little bit slower even because of top speed on this thing. It's gonna produce a little bit more drag than just the pickup, but it's all set up, it's all paid for. Couldn't be happier about everything. Camping World in Meridian, the service and staff has been terrific, so thank you very much for all the help today. Look how great this thing looks. There it is, the Ram Rebel with the Palomino HS650. Got the torque lift tie downs, the fast guns, and the Rico Titan jacks. I had to take the front 2 jacks off just to make a little bit better space for the tie downs to come across. No big deal, but just want to show this thing off for a minute. Yeah, I've got a lot of transit time ahead of me, so gotta hit the road. So I'm actually pretty pleased so far. Fuel economy hasn't taken a huge hit. 14, 15, kind of coming a little bit downhill, and then going up little hills, it drops down to about 9. That's pretty reasonable. We'll see what the rest of this trip brings. I got 800 miles or so to get home, but I thought it was going to be a lot worse with hauling a full hard-sided camper in the back. So far so good though. I mean, we're on the backside of Boise towards Mountain Home, and then I'm going to drop down straight to Elko and just cut through Nevada. But pretty happy with the way the truck is handling the extra weight of the camper right now. Obviously we're just on the highway, but cruising at 65. I can tell it's there. The ride is not quite as smooth as it once was. It's a little bit more bumpy, but certainly manageable. It's not uncomfortable at all. And it's cool to have a big old camper on the back of this truck now. Land yacht. Well, headed south along the 51 through southern Idaho and into Nevada. So my next stop is going to be Elko, about 3 hours from there, 171 miles, and then continuing on south, probably shoot from Elko to Winnemucca. No, not Winnemucca. Elko to like Vegas probably. I think will be my next stretch. Sun's starting to go down. It's currently 3:40 local. It'll pick up an hour going southwest. So it's really pretty here. Sad that I don't get to enjoy having this camper up here for at least a few days, but I have to be back at work. C'est la vie. As usual, chasing the sunset. Sun's going down on day 3 of this adventure, but it's been a good one. Still have quite some time to go. Haven't quite made it to Elko yet. Probably about an hour away from there. And then continuing on to Los Angeles. This will definitely be a 4-day trip, but been effective, and I'm glad that I was able to get everything that I wanted to accomplish done in one swing. So got the truck, got the tie downs, got the camper. Now I just got to get home. $9 p.m. on day 3. Starting to get pretty tired. I've been burning the candle at both ends. So I'm outside of Ely, not too far. I've got 500 miles of transit time to go. So my plan is to rest for a few more hours, or rest for a few hours, I should say. I've been driving now since noon. So I drove for the last 9 hours or so. And I'm about halfway through Nevada. And I've got 8 hours of travel to go. It's a lot slower going than I expected. I mean, well, it's about as slow as I expected. 55 to 60 is comfortable with this camper on the back, and that seems to be like the best fuel economy. So that's where I'm at. It's cold. It's probably about 20 degrees outside, somewhere in central Nevada. Kind of around Ely area, and it's about 9:20 and getting pretty tired. I've been driving since about 5 this morning with camper load up and everything. It just took a long time, a lot longer than I expected. And then now that I have the camper, transit is a little bit slower. So I'm going to sign off for tonight. Obviously I'm inside of the camper right now, snug as a bug. It's comfy. I made a hot water bottle. I haven't even figured out the heating system yet, so I didn't even want to bother turning it on.
I might regret that decision here in a few hours, but that's okay. It'll encourage me to get up and keep driving. But so far I like it. It handles well. It's comfortable inside. It's got plenty of space for me, and it's a pretty neat addition. So I look forward to continuing Left Coast Overland Backpack Palomino / Ram Rebel edition 2019. Anyways, good night to all you out there watching. This is wrapping up day 3. Day 4 starts tomorrow. Still got 500 miles to go. And then I got to be at work. Might be a little bit late.
Okay, bright and early morning number 4, 3:30 a.m. Hitting the road again. Got some good rest. It is 14 degrees out right now. Shivering, waiting for the truck to warm up a little bit, but it's cold. Slept really well though. Got some solid rest in the camper. It stayed warm enough without the heater running or anything, so it's probably 20 degrees warmer inside of the camper. So inside of my sleeping bag, everything was good to go. So off we go. Rise and shine, campers. It is currently 6:09 on day 4. Still making my way through southern Nevada, central southern Nevada, south of Ely, headed for Vegas and then over to Los Angeles. The Ram Rebel is doing great. That payload capacity is awesome. One thing I have noticed though is driving at night, a lot of people oncoming traffic, especially on the 2-lane highways, they think that my brights are on when it's just my standard headlights. So they're flashing their brights at me like, hey, turn your brights off. And I'm like, I got my brights off, sorry, and then they'll just like jam on their brights right in the last 3 seconds as they're passing me. And I'm like, So I think just the weight of the camper, it's 1,500 pounds. The payload capacity is 1,850 pounds. So it's approaching the, max vehicle gross weight. And it's kind of starting to squat the vehicle just a little bit so that the beam of the headlights is kind of pointing right in the face of oncoming traffic. So I think a way to remedy that will be some stiffer springs kind of on the rear axle to help bring that nose forward just a little bit back to standard ride height. Otherwise it's doing great. Averaging about 13 miles per gallon, and yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I slept in it last night. It was fantastic. It's nice to take her home with you wherever you go. On the last 100 miles of my week-long trip, it seems like. It was kind of broken up into 2 weekends, but it's been a long few days. A lot of seat time behind the wheel, traveling, but the truck's doing really well. I'm very pleased with how well it pulls uphill, downhill. Doesn't seem to matter. I can definitely tell that I've got a camper on because it's heavy and changes the characteristics of the handling a little bit. It's a little bit more boaty, but it still has plenty of horsepower to perform what it needs to do, and I look forward to getting to take this thing on some adventures here in the coming weeks and months. So I'm going to close out the video here. Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up or subscribe. And if you want to see some more content that's like this, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll try and address individually those needs of yours. But for now, this is Rick from Left Coast Overland, wishing you happy trails and happy holidays as well. See you guys. What can I say? This thing's cool. I'm pretty stoked on it. I've got the tunes cranking in the indoor-outdoor speakers. I'm gonna start moving some stuff into it and start making it on.